The committee says the violence at the Capitol was a, quote, attempted coup and placed blame squarely on former President Trump. Last night, lawmakers showed never-before-seen footage from the attack, along with testimony from people in former President Trump's inner circle. Here's what the Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman General Mark Milley recalled about his conversation with former President Trump's Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, on January 6th.
He said, we have to kill the narrative that the vice president is making all the decisions. We need to establish the narrative that, that the president is still in charge.
For more, let's bring in CBS News Chief Election and Campaign Correspondent Robert Costa. Robert, thanks for being with us. What new information did we learn from this first round of hearings? I know you've been following it, and you always seem to have your pulse on what's going on.
Good to be with you. That testimony from General Mark Milley, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, was revealing because it shows that then President Trump was trying to shape the narrative about how he operated as commander-in-chief through his then chief of staff, Mark Meadows. And it raises the question about his conduct during that 187 minutes during the attack on the Capitol, where his behavior and decisions are very much under scrutiny by this congressional committee. To have Chairman Milley under oath, speaking to a congressional committee, say that the White House was trying to say that the vice president shouldn't be the one making all the decisions, it brings a spotlight onto how Trump himself was often watching the attack from the dining room off the Oval Office for many hours on that day.
Didn't this testimony also bring into sharp relief the fact that, the commander-in-chief was not responding to the violence at the Capitol, but yet the vice president was? Isn't that sort of a flip-flop of the normal, order of things?
It certainly does illuminate the chaos from January 6, 2021. Who was in charge? If President Trump was not ordering the National Guard to go in, we at CBS News and others have reporting that Chairman Milley, Vice President Pence, congressional leaders, they were scrambling, trying to figure out how to protect the Capitol, how to protect the people inside, and not really sure what Trump was doing and what the commander-in-chief would approve or not. So it was, in a sense, flying by the seat of their pants, making decisions, but not really plugged in with the person who should always be in charge, the commander-in-chief, the President of the United States.
I know another really interesting reveal, sort of ancillary to a lot of what was going on in January 6th, was a number of people in Congress who we are learning were seeking pardons from the former administration. How did you sort of see that play out, and what do you see playing out in the next week?
Those players are going to be a focus for the committee in the coming hearings, because this committee wants to outline who in Congress was involved working with then President Trump to try to overturn the election, to push the election back to the states, to then eventually bring it back to the House of the Representatives for a vote. And they have signaled out Representative Scott Perry of Pennsylvania, among others, as someone who is seeking a pardon for their conduct related to the election. And that is an example of how some lawmakers were seeking protection from the executive branch about their conduct on January 6, 2021, and in the weeks leading up to it.
Bob, really quickly, because we don't have a lot of time, do we know how the president has been responding to the hearing so far? The former president, rather.
He has been dismissive, as have many Republicans. They have called this an illegitimate partisan committee, but it has subpoena power. They are getting witnesses under oath, and that's what matters. They're bringing new truth, new facts to light, and we'll have to see what the upcoming hearings bring.
All right, Robert Costa, thank you so much for staying on top of this for us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.